Hi, Carolyn. I'm looking at your assignment and what you had a question on. I think you said you had a question on requirement 1 and 2. Let's just take a look at requirement 1 and see if this makes sense to you. The owner of Yoda's restaurant is disappointed because the restaurant has been averaging 8,000 pizza sales per month, but the restaurant and wait staff can make and serve 10,000 a month. The variable cost, for example, ingredients of each pizza is $1.45. Monthly costs, including depreciation, property taxes, business license, and manager salaries, $10,000 a month. The owner wants information about different volumes so that some operating decisions can be made. Use the chart below to provide the owner with cost information. Then use the completed chart to help you answer some questions. Let's just complete the chart. The monthly pizza volume. Now, let me see. I'm looking at this little document here, and I'm trying to make certain that I get all of this right. If they make 8,000 pizzas a month, but the restaurant can do 10,000 a month, we want to know what the variable costs are, and we want to be able to determine what the fixed costs are. So, now thinking about that, let's see why the answers that you provided were not correct. The first problem I noticed when you put your information in, you put in, I think, this number. It says here I don't know if it was 5 million. That's not correct, because look at here. Right here it says that the fixed costs are $10,000 per month. So the first number for fixed costs should have been $10,000 right here. That's what should have been there. The second problem was, what are the variable costs? If you take the $1.45, hold on, let me check, 1.45, and you multiply it times the volume of pizza, you get 7,250. And so the reason why I think you were off really was because of the 10,000, if I'm looking at this correctly. And it was actually given to you. Sometimes it's not given to you. You have to figure it out. But in this case, I think that's the reason why you were having the difficulties in this first section. The 10,000 is right here in this area where it tells you this is how much your fixed costs are per month. And as I told you in class, fixed costs do not vary at all with how many pizzas or items you're producing. It's just flat out what you're going to have to pay, period. So the only real calculation in this case is the variable cost, which we are told 1.45. So if 1.45 multiplied by the number of units that we are producing gives us a 7,250. And if you add the two together, you get $17,250 of total cost. Now let's go down a little bit further. Now let's look at the fixed cost per pizza. Now that calculation is not too difficult, because all you need to do is take the fixed cost, which is 10,000, and divide it by the number of units, which is 5,000. And if you take the 10 divided by 5, you get the 2. And the same would be here. You take the 10 divided by the 8, you get the 1.25. And if you take the 10 divided by 10, you get the $1. So that's how you calculate the fixed cost per pizza. So when you go through this problem again, which I'm thinking you will, when you redo it, you'll already know what the calculations are. And the question of it changing these numbers won't make much difference, because you know how to calculate it. Now, the variable cost per unit pizza is already given to you. It's given to you at the $1.45 rate. I hope part 1, or the requirement number 1, makes more sense. Now, let's think about the other part, the last part of part 1, and figure out what you didn't understand about that, and maybe this little tutorial can help you. Now, to find out what the average cost per pizza is, which is this number here, what we need to know is what is the average cost to find out what our profit is. So if we take the 17,250, which we know how we calculated that, and we divide it by the number of units that was produced, in this case is 5,000 units. Let me pull up a little bit on the screen. We take the 5,000 units right here, goodness, and we divide it by the 17,250. We come up with a number that is $3.45. We take those new numbers and we divide them in, we get 345. And that's what we got here. So either way, it works out for you. So our average cost per pizza is $3.45, which is the division of these two numbers. Also, it's just basically the calculation that we went over before. So $3.45, our average cost, we want to take that and subtract it from our selling price. So 6.25 minus the $3.45 give us the $2.80. I hope that helps you. So being said, then now that we have good numbers, can we answer the questions that in requirement number 2? Companies want to run at full capacity to better utilize the resources they spend on fixed costs. Remember, they want to be able to better use their resources on the fixed costs, because those are the costs they really can't control. And it stays the same. It's the variable cost that's going to go up and down depending on how much volume. So the more units they produce, the lower the fixed average cost. Remember, fixed costs stay the same as a total, but when you average it based on the number of units, it does change a little bit. So the average fixed cost is going to fluctuate a little bit depending on the volume, but the cost number itself stays the same. So it's a really interesting point here. So if you think about it from that point of view, you can kind of see the truth in the bottom half, which is requirement number 2. I hope this video did give you some answers. Let me know if it does, and let me know how else I can help you.